Hey, 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 it's your girl Cheryl, and welcome to another episode of Who's Invited, where we talk to interesting people about interesting things. And today we're doing it again. Yes, today I have the pleasure of talking to Afrika Porter. And Afrika Porter is an activist in the community. She is a award-winning producer of a documentary. She is mother in the community to a lot of young people, and I'm just excited to talk to her because, full disclosure, she's a friend of mine from high school. So yes, indeed. So we want to go ahead and welcome Afrika Porter. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Who's Invited. How are you?
Thank you for having me. Hey, Cheryl. Thank you for having me. Congratulations on this beautiful platform. I love it.
Thank you so much. This is what this is for, to talk to people like yourself who are who people know about. Some people do. So I'm introducing you to some, but just hey, presenting you to others who already know you and your wonderful work that you're doing. So let's go ahead and get the conversation started. I just want to get started with, for people who haven't had the pleasure of knowing you, activism is something that is already in your blood. You know what I'm saying? So what are some of your earliest memories of activism or community work?
Wow. I guess I love that question. Some of my earlier memories of community work and activism come out of my church. Mm-hmm. My parents, pastors and professors, doctors, they had a church in Inglewood on 64th and Sangamon, Christ United Methodist Church. And we were there at least 8 days a week. So you would see me in high school, but after school, I was going to church. But,
I know that's right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm so thankful that they were very civic-minded people as well. My father recently passed 2 years ago, and he left a lot of work in terms of, he started a program called Will Feed. Mm-hmm. And this program still runs. It's been running over 40 years in Inglewood, where They feed the community twice a week at the Peace Center. And it started at our church. My mom is the president of the Alfreda Wells Duster Club, which is an organization that is to preserve the life and legacy of Ida B. Wells. And they do that through scholarship for young people to go to college. Worldwide, and they can use it for whatever. So it's not like it's specific for books or, it's for whatever they want to use it for, as long as they're going to college. So I think I have to attribute it to my parents. They were on boots on the ground, when we was at church, we were at a community organization, we were doing something, we were giving back all the time. So a lot of my early memories are of them. And I can remember being a little girl on the bus, leaving from Hyde Park, going to church in Inglewood, and seeing someone mistreating a little girl, a little bit younger than me. And the bus was very crowded. And so all my siblings and I were on the bus. I'm the youngest of 6. And I was trying to get my sister's attention so she could see it. And she finally caught wind of it, and she came closer to where I was. And I remember in that moment feeling like, this is a very crowded bus, and I'm just a little girl, but I know this is not right, Mm-hmm. So I think for me, those early memories of that, I told myself even then, I would always speak up. I would always say something if I saw something that needed some attention to it that was just not right. So I hope I answered it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And for people who don't know, this is just who she is. She's just a warm, kind-hearted person. I want to tell you about a story I don't even think you remember. So, in high school, she was always just a sweetheart. I didn't have pierced ears, but I always loved big earrings. And so one day I just happened to mention this to her, and she said, "Oh, I have a whole lot of those clip-on earrings. Oh, you like the big earrings? Oh, I got a whole lot of those." And, people say things all the time. And sure enough, I don't know if it was the next day or at some point she came back to school, just in her hand, she had 2 really cute earrings. She was like, "Oh, hey, here you go," and kept it moving. So it wasn't like she wanted payment for it. She didn't want, some big acknowledgement, or anything like that. It was just on her heart to do. And I was happy to accept them because they were really cute. but that's just who you are. And so I'm just so grateful to know you, girl. So, and I didn't wear my big earrings, but I wore a little something big for you because, yes,
That's so sweet,
indeed.
Cheryl. That is so sweet. I just remember you being the sweetheart of high school, okay? And you have been consistent all the rest of the almost 30 years, right? We celebrate 30 years soon.
Right. Yes, we are.
Okay. Oh my God. I appreciate you so much. That's such a sweet story, girl. Oh my God.
Yes, like I said, I mean, I never forgot it. It was just a small thing. It just helped me to really understand that this is who she is as a person. So, and that's not just way back in high school. You're doing these things now and speaking up. Just very recently, Chicagoland area. We've been basically, dealing with a lot of carjackings in the community, and I know that it was on your heart to organize people to make sure that people were safe when they were getting their gas or just out in the community. Tell us a little bit about that.
Wow. So I saw some of our classmates. They were on Facebook, and they were speaking about how one young lady was putting her grandchildren in the car, and she turned around to close the door, and a gun was to her head.
Wow.
Another sister was trying to pump her gas, and someone came behind her with a gun. I was just like, okay, wait a minute now. I have been hearing about the carjackings and seeing it on the news, hearing it on talk radio. And I was like, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm not going to just relocate. I'm not going to abandon my city. I love my city. And I'm not going to sit here and watch our children, our children, take on these spirits and this energy. The frequency is off, not to get into the where and the why and how. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychotherapist. I'm not what I'm saying? I just knew that something was wrong. And I started getting on the phone calling Black men that I work with, that I know are on the forefront already, who do this work. And they said, let's do it. We was just looking to put it together. Come on, Sister Africa, let's get down. You know what I mean? So I said, okay. And so it just so happened that there were 9 carjackings at my neighborhood gas station in Hyde Park, all within a sequence of about 72 hours. So
wow,
we had a event there, and someone called the news, and we was like, "Wow, what y'all doing here?" So we just trying to get together to provide like a platform, put some structure to an unstructured situation, because we don't know when they're happening. We just wanted to put it together and come together, and so we organized.
Make people feel safe.
Absolutely, we organized different gas stations to have different men come and stand and just be present. And what I understand is that, when Black men stand up, little boys will sit down. And I think that is just what has been very prominent in this movement. We saw within the last 3 months a decrease from 84%. We used to have, I think at one point there was 100 carjackings in 2 weekends. It has been reduced significantly. And we attribute that to a lot of people, not just our movement, but people all over the city and all over just trying to take control of their communities and being involved at their own level. You know what I mean? Some people did not necessarily get the press and the understanding of the media, but they have been doing a lot of work. And I think that's very, very, very important, that people within their own spaces where they live, they were talking to each other more. People were calling to let people know they were getting into their garages. Someone had been carjacked going into their own garage. So it just made it where we had the conversation more. And more of us were talking to each other about it, so we can solve our problem collectively.
Right. And it plants that seed so that, other ideas and other people and other areas of the city can start to come together for something positive, for something, some action to take place. So, definitely, we thank you for being you and helping to get that started. So
these men did that.
I heard that. I know that's right. Yes. And because of what you do, just recently you were honored by the Chicago Defender with the Woman of Excellence Award. Yes, indeed. How was that? How did that feel?
Girl, I mean, I woke up that morning and I had been getting calls before I got up. Like, did you know you were a WOW? I'm like, what's a WOW? And it's like, Woman of Excellence. I'm like, oh my God. I had been hearing about that, of course, for years. And I've been to several of the ceremonies and I loved it. And I love the Chicago Defender, our oldest Black newspaper. So I was just so honored. I was kind of baffled because for me, I do what I'm supposed to do. This isn't my job, so to say. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, and there's no pun intended. I love everyone that does this. If you do it for a living, if you do it, as a hobby, if you do it for your community, if you do it because you care, if you do it because the ancestors are speaking to you. You know what I mean? For me, I am just trying to make sure that, we're all okay. And again, I got it from my parents. I got it honestly. I guess it's a blessing and a curse. Sometimes I'm like, okay, hold on, what's going on? I got to beware. Okay, how am I gonna get over there from it? But I just feel like when I got that information, I was overwhelmed. And I was a bit emotional because I recently lost my brother. And losing my father, I'm just kind of like, wow, they're not here. But I do understand, and I do feel them. Absolutely. I feel them, and I feel like, I just got, more angels, looking out for me. And I'm just thankful that I was even considered, and they saw something in me to do that,
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it a whole lot. Yes, indeed. And so this is your gift, and it's been your calling. And I think people who know you know that, and you're a natural connector, and you've been able to parlay that into, your own work in public relations and consulting. So, what's been your approach to that work? And so how's that been?
Wow. It's been interesting. For me, I had not realized I was actually doing public relations. And I was at a Bulls game. And my son, when he was graduating from 8th grade, he's 19 now, he wanted to go see his favorite basketball player, Derrick Rose. And Derrick Rose was playing for the Chicago Bulls. And so, I got the tickets he wanted. We were on the floor, and we were just so excited. And, I got a phone call. Someone saw me at a game. And at this point, I wasn't really on social media. You know what I mean? That was 2 years ago. And I think Kanye was there. And so he must have been like in the skybox. And so we were like waving to each other, I'm like, hey, what's up? Yeah, come down, come up. Okay. So some kind of way we came and met up with each other. We just catching up. Oh my God. He like, man, Sister Africa, man, you ain't changed the picture. You still on that black stuff. And we just always laugh, And I think I told him, I said, well, our conditions haven't changed. So I can't change. You know what I mean? Right. I got to stay on the black. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't.
We're gonna be black, so
you know what I'm saying. I gotta keep it black, and I gotta stay focused on what's happening for black, so black can win. So we just laughed and joked. We took a picture. Someone took the picture, and it went on Twitter. I wasn't even on Twitter, and I got a call while we were sitting at the game, and it was a friend of mine. He said, "Hey, I'm at the game. Man, I can't get over to your section, but can you let Ye know I want to get some beats or something?" Sure, no problem. Hold on. Here you go. Gave him the phone. They started talking. There was a sister sitting there not far away. She tapped me on the shoulder. She said, hey, young lady, I don't know you, but you just did something that people get paid to do. And I said, what did I do? She said, you did a PR move. I said, no, that's my friend.
Wow.
I would do that anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh no, Rob, that's my boy. You know what I mean? We grew up together. Yay, that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? That's my friend too. Like, no, you're supposed to help each other out. She said, I'm gonna need you to give me a call. I want to talk to you about some business. And that's exactly how it happened. I had already kind of been, somebody called, I need to get a meeting with such and such. Can you help me? I sure, hold on. I didn't know that was actually something that people do in terms of a living. And so, I went and followed up, and we talked, and I said, you know what? I do kind of feel like this is something I like to do. And I like helping people. I like connecting people. Sure. And that's really how my business was born. And I've been doing public relations, Africa Enterprises, professionally, about 12 years. I recently merged with one of my really, really good sister friends who was a mentee who actually now teaches me because she's 10 years younger than me, Melanie Brown. And we merged our businesses to create AMPR, Africa Melanie Public Relations. And so she's a millennial, and she keeps me on my toes. She knows so many things I just don't know because I'm more old school now. You know what I'm saying? Closer to 50 than I am 40. So But she is, I think the duality of us working together has been great. And we've gotten so many great clients, from artists to entertainers, athletes, authors, new business owners, continued business owners who just want more publicity and more press for their business. It's been wonderful. It's really been a blessing. I'm so thankful.
Awesome. So it just happened organically, and making those connections for people. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, like I said, you are an award-winning producer for the documentary Chicago at the Crossroads. Now, how did that come to be?
Wow. So I had a client, Dwayne Hirsch, really big Chicago real estate mogul. And, shout out to Dwayne. He has since moved back and forth to Georgia, where he is building out a huge hemp farm. So he still does his real estate, but not so much, because his other business is growing so nicely. I'm so proud of him. So he was my PR client, and we were doing these monthly meetings in Hyde Park at the Hyatt Hotel, where he would share and have different guest speakers come talk about filing for your LLC, of which he was a big component of lobbying back and forth to Springfield to reduce the LLC filing fee from, I think, $500 to $150. So Dwayne Hirsch is partly responsible for that, all of you business owners.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes, ma'am. I benefited from that too, So Dwayne and I worked together closely. He had a good friend that had been working on this film, Chicago at the Crossroad, for about 11 years. He thought I should meet him. And unbeknownst to me, my ex-husband, Jason Olarvia, and I, we studied film at the University of Chicago. And we have background in documentary films. And when I first met with him, Brian Shortoff is his name. He's the writer, producer, director of Chicago at the Crossroad. I was just so, oh my God. I was like, wow, this is amazing when I read the script, because it really spoke to me in terms of a lot of the work that I think I may have been called to do. And it was a story of a tale of two cities. Although I've always lived in Hyde Park or the South suburbs, I oftentimes say that myself. Chicago is a tale of two cities. You coming through the expressway, you come through 55th Street to get to Hyde Park, you see so much, Coming from Hyde Park, you're going north, wow, you see so much. It's so different, right? You can be in the same city and 5 minutes apart. There's a shooting happening here. There are board up homes here. There are people lined up to receive some free services here. So it's a tale of two cities, and I fell in love with the script. I agreed to work on it with him. Brian, coming from Kansas City, he's a white man. He had been trying to solicit interviews from people that he just was not getting, the feedback back for various reasons, and it was difficult. One, he's not from here, Two, he's not Black. So sometimes, people want to know that you're not exploiting the culture. They want to know that, what are you going to do with this content? Why would you like to interview me? These kind of things. And so I think us being opposite, he's a man, I'm a woman, he's white, I'm Black. We came together so strongly, and we were able to work this thing out in a way that we were able to get these interviews done. And a lot of people, that he wanted already, and that I, advised him on, from your Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson, Dr. Timio Black, Dr. Carol Adams. These are people that I was raised under.
Giants.
Mentors, what I'm saying? Giants, as you say. These were just some people in the community that were my go-to. My very first job when I came up from college at Bennett College for Women was at the National Rainbow Push Coalition under Reverend Jackson. So I was able to learn a lot then from him. So, I remember calling him once I, agreed to do the work with Brian, and asking him if he was available for me to come and interview him for this new film project. He said, well, Africa, you can come over, but, I don't have that funny food you like to eat,
You called it funny food.
Because, back then, of course, veganism is popular now, but it wasn't so popular, some years ago. So I said, well, Reverend, it's all good. I'm going to grab me a salad on the way. I'm just so thankful that you're going to let us come on over and do this interview, And so we got involved with getting this story told. We have the late, great Philip Jackson, who was over the Black Star Project, of which, when Brother Phil started the Black Star Project in 1994, I had my son Jalil, who in 96. And there was a statistic that came out in 1998 that said 1 out of every 3 Black male children will see prison in their lifetime. Well, I actually lived that because my son Jalil has been incarcerated, several times. And for me, having Brother Phil, who was my boss, because I worked for him at the Black Star Project over their student motivation program and destination college program, and the Parent University, I was just honored. He was sick at the time, but he still, gave us the interview. And it was just beautiful. It was so beautiful. I'm so thankful that we were able to get him, in the film. And then we have Pastor Phil Jackson, who's amazing, does amazing work on the west side of Chicago. And the film, for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it, but Pastor Phil Jackson, he converted a firehouse into a church.
Yes.
And he also teaches our young people, glass blowing, mural making. I mean, he taps in to the side of them that's so creative. And a lot of our young people have been incarcerated and have dealt with so much turmoil and trauma that is so beautiful. And then we had Arnie Duncan, who was, Secretary of State under President Barack Obama's administration, who has an organization called CRED, where we followed the story of a young man, who grew up on the west side of Chicago through so much trauma, and 9 months in prison, 9 months through Arnie Duncan's program, and then he graduated and he's in college now. Yes. So the film, it tells you the history of Chicago, and it tells you the history of segregation in Chicago, and it also provides solutions to a lot of the violence and the crime and the racism in Chicago, but from a housing perspective. Yeah. So I'm so thankful.
Yes, indeed. So I'll definitely link that information for those who want to check it out. Yes, because I was able to check it out and find it. And yes, I'm like I said, this is exciting work. I know it's hard work, but it's necessary. It's very necessary.
Necessary work.
Yes, and we love it. We love that you're out there. So I mean, for those of us who were born and raised in Chicago and understand that, Chicago is not perfect, and, there's a lot of work to be done, but there's some, Chicago is awesome. I'm just going to say it like
it's a beautiful city.
It's a beautiful city. So what are some of the things, that help fuel you, that, make you know that this work is for you? What is it about Chicago? What do you love about Chicago? I know that's a big question, right?
It is. I love the people here. You just mentioning that story of high school, girl, I do not remember that. But I vaguely know something about it because I didn't get my ears pierced until I was an adult.
Yeah, me either. Yeah.
Went into that. You know what I'm saying? So I remember having so many clip-on earrings, so that's all we could wear. Yeah. And I just remember your sweet spirit. I just think, we grew up with some wonderful people.
Yeah.
There are some wonderful people in this city. They say if you can make it in Chicago, you can make it anywhere.
Yes, you can.
Girl.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things that I think, is so awesome about Chicago is that, unlike places that are warm all year round, we sort of appreciate it differently when we get a little bit of that warm weather.
Yes.
And,
just a little bit.
Yeah, just those days of summer and spring and seeing the seasons change. So we're able to, so sort of have that seasonal shift that's beautiful. But also, a lot of times people say that, we're one of the most segregated cities. So there's some definitely truth to that. But in doing so, it creates enclaves where there is culture. In various pockets. So, you mentioned the West Side. West Side has a culture. South Side has a culture. Southeast Side may have a different culture than the far South Side. And so, Emmy, I know a lot of times in Chicago, we will playfully have that be sort of competitive, but there's some truth that there's lot of culture in Chicago. Yeah. So I know those are some of the things that I know I love about Chicago.
I love the water. I love the beach. You know,
Yes, yes.
every day I go for a walk. Rain, sleet, snow. I'm gonna go for a walk. And appreciate the creator who has created this. You know what I mean? I just sometimes marvel in it, like, wow, God did that. Look at this
Yes.
water, and it changes seasons, and it's so beautiful. You know what I mean? And we get to just take it in. Even if it's negative 18 degrees, I'm gonna jump out there for a second and come on right back in. You know what I mean? But it's so beautiful
Yes.
that the seasons change, and we can see that. And we have some of the most beautiful festivals,
Oh, yes.
Oh my God, the African Festival of the Arts, Labor Day weekend is amazing.
Yes.
I love it. And the culture, like you said, it's so much culture here. Just in my community, there are over 200 languages spoken here.
Wow.
Just the diversity in that. I love that. My children, they also, like us, grew up with some wonderful people from very, very diverse backgrounds. And I just think that this is a very, very beautiful city. And I'm so thankful, my parents chose to come here.
Yes. So, with our seasons changing, we know the summer is coming. And, when the warm weather hits, not only do we get the benefit of, the beautiful festivals and seeing the city in all its glory, we know that it leads to a rise in violence in our communities. And, not that you or any one person is responsible for having the answer, but when you think about it, like, what do you think? Do you think that the answer or the solution to violence in Chicago is complex, or is it really something simple that we're missing? What do you think about that?
I love the question. And for me, what I do, especially as the weather, gets to be nicer, because in Chicago, we get excited, like you said, because we have a brutal winter. Yes. But then it's like another part of us is kind of like, okay, that means we got to really be on top of things, because that means the crime will increase. What I do and what I encourage others to do, it doesn't cost anything. I think when you see another person, just give a little smile and say hello. It don't cost nothing. I think we need to take it back to some very, very, very simplistic things, just speaking to one another. I did a study a couple of years ago. Me and some friends, we got together, we tested it out. Walking down certain streets, do people speak or not? And what we found is that some people purposely, we can tell they're not on the phone, but they're going to try to act like it just so they don't have to make eye contact with another person. And we tried to do some things even with that, peace, how you doing? Good morning, because at the end of the day, we're human beings. We all require certain things, water, right? Just sometimes just a hug, just a nurturing smile, just a, hey, how you doing? And it's not that we need to get in each other's business or get in each other's way. How you doing? What you think about this? What's going on? No. It's just a, hey, how you doing?
Right.
And that can go a long way. So I think just acknowledging another human being in the same energy space that you have at that time. That's just one thing. In addition to that, I think with the pandemic and with the state that we are in, with the police culture and police violence and accountability.
Yes.
We, to me, should be running towards each other, trying to find out, what do you do? How can I support you? How can I support your business? What are the aspirations and dreams of your children? A lot of my posts are to really engage people and to see, my 19-year-old recently, for his birthday, at first he reached out, he said, Mom, I want to get some Jordans. Well, we never did Jordans, you know what I'm saying? I would always tell them, you can't get any Jordans until you invest in the Jordan company. So, my mama, we're not doing that. So I needed them to understand, I'm not against Jordan, I love it. I just need you to love it and to be able to get some of that residual back. So when they got to the point, they had their portfolios and they're investing, they're seeing the return and it's growing. They have a portfolio. Oh, look at what you're doing. Now you can get some Jordan. So he still never got any until recently.
Wasn't important anymore, I guess, huh?
Okay, his life's changed. He said, Mom, for my birthday, I know what I want. I said, okay, what you want, son? I want some Jordans. Well, a week and a half later, he said, I changed my mind. I want to pay for my LLC. And I said, oh, I love it. All right, Scholar.
Wow.
So when it came down to it, I said, okay, I'm gonna Zelle you the money. You can go online. We're gonna work this thing out. We're gonna do all this. How you want to do it? I already did it, Mom. So I was just like, wow. So for me, when I posted about that, it was to let other parents and other, guardians and people know this is some steps you can take if you want your child to be a business owner. If you want to see some success in this way, we can help you do that. Now that I've seen that my own son has done it, I got some experience in it. I don't have all the answers, but that's just one thing. So I think that a lot of this kind of comes out of, they say the desolate spirit, not having anything to do. Let's tap into our young people and find out what their interests are. Let's pull some things out of them. Let's really engage them on who they are. You know what I mean? Sometimes we just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I didn't know that this was what I was supposed to be doing either until I got the tap on the shoulder. So let's just tap in. And I think that's another thing we can do just to take the edge off. Because I think we are kind of frigid here sometimes too in Chicago because we're watching our back all the time. Earlier today, my brother came and got me and he took me to my appointment. And we didn't realize we had left the doors unlocked. He got his laptop in the back seat. My laptop is in the back seat. I left my little bag with my bottles of water, my little snacks and stuff in it. We stopped and grabbed something to eat and came back to the car and it was already open. He said, wow, now we in the suburbs.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just, I think we just got to tap in a little more. I think we can do a little bit more in terms of showing a little bit more love.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just show a little bit more love. When I see my sister, I see myself.
Yes.
And I want for my sister what I have myself. When I see the sister, she said, wow, where'd you get that headpiece? Oh my goodness. Whew, I've been doing this since high school. I don't know how many I got at this point. But I go to Joanne Fabrics. I got a sister that makes some for me now. Whenever people going out the country, I say, could you bring me a scarf back? I mean, so I'm just open. I think we got to be a little bit more open to share. You know what I'm saying? Well, where'd you get those glasses? Okay, these here I got. Just share. Let's not be afraid to share what we got, how we got it, what we do. Let's just give more. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it costs a lot. We just got to give a little bit more of ourselves and take a layer of that distrust down. We got a serious distrust, I think. You know what I'm saying? Not just in Chicago, in this country, and for obvious reasons. But we don't want to be naive. But I think we should just take a little step back when it comes to trust. Mm-hmm. Because our young people are looking up to us and they're looking at us, you know what I'm saying? Right. And I think that in itself, as Dr. Carl Bell, rest in peace, the Black psychologist would always say, when we're nicer to each other, nicer things will happen to us as a collective. Let's just be nice to each other.
That part.
That part. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. No, 100%. 100%. Wow. We got a lot of work to do. And I think that some of the things that we're experiencing that appear negative, I think that they will give birth to some really positive things. That's my hope. And that's what, I know that you're doing, and I hope that other people are doing, that I'm hoping to do, and that kind of thing. So, that there needs to be some balance. And again, so up out of some of, the negative, that will push forward into that positive. Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is next? What's next for you?
What's next? Wow. I am, I'm working on a few things. I do a podcast on Tuesdays on What's in It for the Black People Media, Mace Jackson, and his network there that I love. I'm on a show called The Green Side of Things with Brother Sadiq and Sister Cassiopeia. And so they have me come on Tuesdays just to, add to their show, which is already a wonderful, wonderful platform.
Yes, I watch.
Oh, thank you.
I know Maze, and I know Brother Sadiq.
I love it. I just, I love them. We just talk about all things current and with some healthy tips in there as well. But definitely current events, what's happening as it pertains to us as African people. And I'm also working on a book and
yes, it's time.
a couple of new film projects as well.
Awesome.
Just, open to collaborations. I love collaborating with others. Anyone that has an idea, a thought, or, a mission that they want to get out of them, they want to birth something. I'm always open to collaborations. And just a couple of merchandising things, One of my favorite hashtags is we are our own solution.
Yes, yes.
And some things have come out of that in terms of us looking at ourselves and our contributions. So that's a whole nother piece. Another one I love is winning. I think a lot of times we see things that don't look like it's winning situations. So I like to reverse the psychology and I'm just hashtag winning, because that's the goal I think that we want to see. We want to see us winning and thriving. So those are a couple of things I'm working on, and just looking at, the aftermath of what we all have just went through. We all have lost a lot of people just recently. For me, I stopped counting after I think 170 people from COVID.
Wow.
Right. I couldn't go to all the services. So people
Yes.
sending me their obituaries, and I wasn't trying to count, but it just became a bit overwhelming once I collected them, and I had to put them in a place, and just meditate on that and just pray and just, again, just be so thankful for those of us that have lived through this pandemic. I want to do something coming now through this storm, if you will, that addresses the trauma and the pain on the people that's already traumatized. Because, for us, we already knew what a pandemic was.
No.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? This was just an additive.
Yes.
So I want to do more, especially as it pertains to our young Black men and women. Human trafficking is big. My 19-year-old Jabril does a lot of work in that space. I want to tap in there more, and the question comes up a lot about what would you tell your 20-year-old self? I want to tell our young girls, you know what I mean? My business partner, Melody, she's abstinent and she's saving herself for marriage. And I honor that. I would like to tell my 20-year-old self to just wait. You know what I'm saying? You're worth the wait. And I think, in the climate of the pandemic and everything that's going on, I just want to push the message that's right and true for our young people, that they don't have to feel the pressure. There's so much, a lot of things are marketed to them. So they are seeing so much information overload, you know what I mean? So I just, if I could, I want to push that moving forward with our young people, just teaching them that it's okay to be an individual. It's okay to be you and to be true to you. You know what I mean? Give thanks for who you are, even if you don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? But be okay with that, not knowing, and just surrounding yourself around people that you resonate with. The frequency is similar so that you can grow into who you are called to be,
Yes, indeed. Always, always. Yeah, I think that I know I'm excited to learn more and see more of what you're doing, and join if I can, or support absolutely.
Please.
So that's
Please.
happening.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is Who's Invited. We're gonna wrap up now, but if this is the question I ask all my guests. So if you were putting together, you're doing a lot of work, but when it's time to play and you create this fabulous soiree or dinner party, who would you invite? Who would be some of the people that you would invite to something like that? Wow. And they can be anybody. They can be celebrities, athletes, artists, game changers, just anybody that you would love to have at a gathering.
Oh, wow. Ooh, wait, how many do I get?
Well, it's your party. You can have as many as you want, but just tell us a few.
Okay. Definitely my mother.
Awesome.
My mother gives great advice. My mother is a woman. Wow. She is Proverbs 31.
Wow.
She is that woman that stands through the test of time. She gives of herself in so many ways. Wow. She has so much information, so much wisdom. definitely my father. My father was a man of great dignity and expectation. And he came from such, little. I mean, he had an outhouse, self-made, earned PhD. And he put over 50 Black men through college.
Wow.
He believed in education. He believed in, teaching Black men who they were. Minister Farrakhan, I would want him to be there with all of the gifts, and the tenacity that he gives. There's a brother that I've known a long time that I've been working with a lot lately. He did for almost 20 years in prison. He's been home about 4, but in the 4 years he's been home, he has done so much. I mean, he's done more than, some people that is, twice his age. His name is Brother Tyrone Muhammad. Started an organization called Ex-Cons for Social Change. And he's built a huge facility near West where he teaches youth entrepreneurship. He trains them and pays them quite well. He is a violence interventionist. T.O. Hardiman, he gives of himself. He's on the front line doing the same work. Brian Gorman, this brother is just amazing. I was a writer when he had a magazine in my 20s called The Atom. You know what I'm saying? We've been working together strong over 20 years. Marquand McDonald, martial arts instructor, just a giver of life. He just gives of himself nonstop. He checks on elders every day. He checks on women every day. These are people that just give. Wow, it's so many.
So they're due for a celebration, huh?
There they are due. I have a girlfriend, LaTanya Cooper. She has a heart to serve. She gives so much of herself. One of my mentors, Katherine Jackson. She wants to see young people thrive. I mean, she works so hard and she does so much. It's so many. Dr. Carol Adams. It's so many people.
I love it.
Man, my siblings, Georgia, Jessica, and Joe and Julie, all my siblings are pastors, and they all work within the space of community justice and social service, helping others. So it's so many people. Cheryl, I love the question. Nina Simone.
Hello, come on.
Nina Simone, I want to go to a dinner. I would be there like. I just, to be young, gifted, and Black. The fact that she wrote that song and it still resonates today. My homeschool community, we sing that song at our graduations every year. Dr. Nsanto Opong Wadie, co-founder of my homeschool community, Indigo Nation Homeschoolers Association. This woman birthed all 4 of her children by herself at home on her couch.
Oh, wow.
She is cold.
Look, she won.
She won.
She won.
She cold. She cold. She teaches, at DePaul University. She just so cold. She started an organization to acknowledge and remember Haile Selassie's wife, Empress Menen. So every April we just celebrated Empress Menen, who was a cold, brilliant sister out of Ethiopia. So, I mean, it's so many. Obviously, I'm going to need you to be at that dinner so we can talk about the first film that you put my son in, Free My Joy. You understand me?
That's right.
Yes.
Wow. Well, this has been a pleasure. You have no idea. Well, I guess you do, because I love you. So I'm just excited that you are here. This has been great. I'm glad that you've had a chance to, like I said, to introduce yourself to some and then present yourself to others who, might know a little bit about you. But I think after this, they know a little bit more about you and the work you do and who you are and, and how they could be inspired by some of what you do as well. So it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me on Who's Invited.
Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate you.
Awesome. That was amazing. So The link below will take you to Chicago at the Crossroads. If you haven't already seen it, please, please, absolutely check it out. Also, I have linked below where you can reach out to Africa yourself. If you have public relation needs or just want to reach out and you need some support and consulting, all right, that link is below as well. All right, this has been an awesome conversation. Please, please, please like, share, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and join me next time when I interview someone else, someone you should know, right here on Who's Invited. All right, take care.